Chapter 9 and Song 9 Summary. Now philosophy promises to show what true happiness is. She proves that ability and power share by nature the same substance, as do honor, fame, and happiness. But human error divides this natural whole into fragments and pursues them individually, and thus does not obtain either the whole or the parts. Even if someone attained the whole, he would not find true happiness, since these pursuits do not give it in themselves. True happiness comes from being wholly self-sufficient, wholly able, wholly respectable, wholly well-known, and wholly happy. But earthly pursuits cannot provide this highest good, this true happiness. May God guide us and show us where it can be found. Chapter 9. I have stated enough now to outline false happiness for you. If you can see it clearly, the next step is to show what true happiness is. Indeed, I acknowledged, I see clearly enough that sufficiency cannot be found in wealth, nor power in kingship, nor respect in high office, nor fame in glory, nor true joy in pleasures. Have you also understood why this is true? I seem to see as though I were peering into a room through a keyhole, but I would like you to help me see more clearly. Why, surely the reason stands right in front of you. Human error separates what is simple and indivisible by nature, transforming it from a state of truth and perfection to falsehood and imperfection. Do you imagine that something in need of nothing lacks power? Certainly not. Correct, for if anything is feeble in some way, it necessarily needs external protection. That is true. Therefore, the nature of sufficiency and power is one and the same. It seems to be. So, do you consider anything with such a nature to be despicable, or rather more worthy of the highest respect than anything else? The latter, there can be no doubt about that. Let us then add respect to sufficiency and power and conclude these three to be one. We must, if we want to acknowledge the truth. Do you think then that this combination of qualities is obscure and unknown to fame, or rather celebrated and renowned? Just consider, when we have agreed that something lacks nothing, is supreme in power, and is worthy of the highest respect, can it lack fame because it cannot provide this for itself, and so have its glory dimmed? I cannot deny that its nature ensures the fame of this combination of qualities. It follows, then, that we must admit that fame is not different from the other three. It does, I said. That, then, which needs nothing outside itself, which can accomplish all things in its own strength, which enjoys fame and compels respect, must not this also be fully crowned with joy? I cannot possibly imagine, I answered, how any sadness could creep into such a being's heart, and so it must be full of joy, at least if our former conclusions remain sound. Then, for the same reasons, this also is necessary. Sufficiency, power, fame, respect, and pleasure differ in name, but are identical in substance. It is indeed necessary, I nodded. But that which is one and simple by nature, human perversity separates. And in trying to win a part of something that has no parts, people fail to attain not only that part, since there are no parts at all, but also the whole, since they are not even trying to acquire it. How is that? I inquired. The one who seeks riches so he can escape being in need does not concern himself about power. He prefers to be hidden and unknown, and also denies himself many natural pleasures so he can avoid losing the money he has gained. But at this rate, he does not even attain sufficiency, but is a weakling void of strength, harassed by troubles, low and despised, and buried in obscurity. And the one who thirsts for power alone squanders his wealth, despises pleasure, and thinks both fame and high offices are worthless without power. But you see how many good things he abandons. Sometimes he lacks the necessities of life, is gnawed by anxieties, and, since he cannot rid himself of these aggravations, even loses the power that was his ultimate goal. We can draw the same conclusions about public honors, glory, or pleasure. For, since each one of these is identical with the others, whoever seeks any one of them without the others cannot even lay hands on the one he desires. Well, I wondered, what then? If anyone desires to obtain them together, he does indeed wish for happiness as a whole. But will he find it in these things that cannot give what they promise, as we have proved? No, not at all, I agreed. Then no one can find happiness in these things that individually seem to have what people long for. No one can, I admit. No conclusion could be truer than that. So then, you now know both the form and the causes of false happiness. Now turn your mind's eye the other way, and you'll immediately see the true happiness I promised. Yes, indeed, even a blind man could see it, I told her. You pointed it out just now when you tried to unfold the causes of false happiness. For, unless I am mistaken, true and perfect happiness crowns a person with sufficiency, power, respect, fame, and joy. And to prove to you how deeply I understand what you've been saying, I now know without a doubt that only full and complete happiness can give any one of these qualities, since they are all identical. Oh, how happy this conviction would make you, my student, if you were to add just one thing. What is that? I asked. Is there anything, do you think, among these mortal and perishable things, which could give someone such happiness? No, surely not. You've so amply demonstrated this that nothing more needs to be said. Well, then, these things seem to give shadows of the true good to mortals, or imperfect goods, but they cannot confer the true and perfect good. Exactly right, I replied. Since then, you have learned what true happiness is, as well as what people falsely call happiness. All you need to learn is where you should seek for it. Yes, I've been eagerly looking forward to this for a long time. Well, since even in the most trivial matters we should implore God's protection, as Plato maintains in the Timaeus, what do you think we should do now so we can be worthy to find the source of that highest good? We must call upon the Father of all things, I answered, for without this, our search would be misguided from the start. Well said, she agreed, and immediately began to sing. Song 9. Invocation. Maker of earth and sky, from age to age who rules the world by reason, at whose word time issues from eternity's abyss, to all that moves, the source of movement, while unmoved remaining still. No outside cause compelled you, this proportioned frame, to shape from shapeless matter, but, deep set within your generous heart, the form of highest good lay perfectly, and you composed the whole from that celestial pattern. Beauteous the world in you thus imaged, being yourself most beautiful. So you the work have formed in that fair likeness, giving it complete perfection through the utter faultlessness of every part's creation. You combine the elements in balanced harmony, so that the hot and cold, the moist and dry, are equal, lest the pure fire leaping up escape, or weight of waters drown the earth. You mingle and distribute through the whole, to stir each part to move in harmony, a soul, which joins the body and the mind. This, split in two, and on two orbits moving, speeds on a path that to itself returns, encircling mind itself, and thus compels the heavens to move in orbit. Lesser souls and lesser lives, by similar ordinance you send away, each to its starry home affixing. Thus you strew them far and wide o'er earth and heaven. These by a pleasant law you cause to turn again, and render back to you their fires. Oh, grant, Almighty Father, grant us on reason's wing to soar aloft to heaven's exalted height. Grant us to see the source of good. Grant us the true light found to fix our steadfast eyes in vision clear on you. Disperse the heavy mists of earth and shine in your own splendor, for you are the true serenity and perfect rest of each devoted soul. To see your face, the end and the beginning, one the guide, the traveler, the pathway, and the goal.